happened. We are live.
Oh no,
It is time.
we're not prepared.
Are we ever, to be honest?
No. We just kind of wing it.
Yeah, you know.
Hello everyone. Welcome to the Robot Rampage League. It is week number 7. We are quickly getting close to the center of the season, the middle of the season. And
Season's absolutely flying by so far.
yeah, it's been going by pretty quick. How's everybody doing this week? Helen, Nitro, Mr. Circuit, KJ, welcome everybody to the stream. We have some amazing virtual robot combat coming your way.
A lot of really fun matchups this week.
Absolutely. Pull up the notes. What do we got?
So, our feature match is once again the first match. It's going to be the Tennessee and Syndicate and the Collegiate Wanderers. I don't know why. Both of them are tied at 48 points for the Division 2 lead.
Yeah, that's a pretty important match there.
Yeah, that's a real important match. That could be interesting. They also have our feature fight as well in the heavyweights. It's going to be Relentless Heartburn against Twin Gyre. Relentless Heartburn hasn't lost yet, and Twin Gyre only just lost last week through rather odd methods. So
Yeah. It was really odd because Twin Gyre is supposed to drive inverted,
yeah,
and I've tested it and it drives inverted,
yeah,
and it just didn't move.
yeah. Like the wheels didn't even spin when it was upside down. I don't understand that at all.
Yeah, because like even when the AI is set up without being able to drive invertible,
They still do.
it'll still spin.
Yeah,
So it was just.
I have no idea what happened there.
But yeah, that's what if they tie? What if the two teams that are even on points tie?
Well, we do have tiebreakers in here because currently Syndicate is number 1 because they have more KOs than the Wanderers. So that would depend on in what methods they tie.
I guess it would.
Whether if they both get 2 KOs or something, that's still Syndicate ahead. But I don't know.
Could be interesting.
We also have some records for the RRL going on right now.
Yes, we've set a few records this season already.
So, in the more unfortunate side of things, Powerhouse Robotics has set the consecutive fight loss record with 10.
That's not a good record to have.
I'm also really shocked because some of those fights were very close and they almost won them.
Yeah, it wasn't like what was it? River City held that before.
Yeah, I think they had 9. Like
That was a team that was bad.
Yeah, and like Powerhouse, while they're not the most competitive because they're more built around aesthetics, they still have really capable machines.
Yeah, and their middleweight does really well.
Yeah, they just
So
ran through a bad string. And on the flip side of things, we have consecutive fight wins record, which is Jubilife City with 9. And I have a feeling they're going to add to that record this week.
There's a good chance of that.
So on paper, they're matching up against their opponent pretty well.
So, chat has a few things to say this week.
I do see that.
Nitro says they're here before Almudamir gets the 6th consecutive judges decision this week.
I'm pretty sure that is a record for consecutive decisions, and I think the record overall was 7?
It's
Almudamir's getting
almost
close.
certainly going to break that for the season.
Real interesting.
Tamabris is here for an hour and a half because of darts.
Jealous, honestly. Darts can be fun.
Darts can be. You should convince them to put the stream on in the bar you go to.
That would be awesome.
Get like a crowd of like 30 like drunk guys just being like, what the fuck is this?
It's fine, though. We see things fight. It works.
All right.
Wow.
Oh, Helen's going to see the new Thor film, or did see the new Thor film.
Oh. What'd you think of it, Helen? 'Cause I actually saw that, I think, 2 weeks ago. Just curious.
I don't watch Marvel movies because I'm here doing this.
I mean, I feel you there. I'm not a movie person, but I'll tag along anyway.
Acuity has the all-time record of judges' decisions with 9.
It's
7
in the first season. Okay.
in season 1 and 2 so far this season. Yeah, Voya pointed out that the Orlando Commandos' lifetime are about to go over the 500,000 damage point mark. They're only about 7,000 or 8,000 points away, so that's like, what, 2 fights?
Yeah, it's maybe, well, yeah, I mean, depending on how the heavier weight classes go, yeah.
Yeah, so Orlando's almost certainly going to hit a 500,000 damage points.
Well, I think it's worth checking out our standings and such after last week because things got weird.
Yeah. Not only do we have teams tied on points in the standings, we also have robots tied on points with the judges.
Yep.
I didn't judge these fights this week. I was busy.
Yeah.
Why don't you talk about how that went?
So I was one of the judges for the bottom right fight, Glowcloud Caraboss. And I had that scored 13-12 for Caraboss. And both the other judge and our tie-breaking judge voted the same score, but for Glowcloud.
Very close fight.
Yeah, it was a very narrow fight. I will not deny that. Just, I thought it was Caraboss. I got it. I don't know.
And that's why we have more than one judge.
Yeah, very interesting.
So, yeah.
And with that decision, the Nightvale Spider Wolves got a shutout.
Excellent.
We also had some pretty other close fights. The Bicerabot got its first win with a very narrow win.
Bicerabot, finally.
Yes.
Wait, didn't that mean that all of Division 3, every single robot's won at least one fight now?
Yes, I believe Division 3 has all their everything's won at least one now.
It's the only division that every robot has won at least one.
I think we got a couple of winless robots in some of the other divisions, but yeah.
Well, standings. Jubilife and the Pulsars are kind of dominating Division 1 at the moment.
Setting the pace for sure.
Division 2, still incredibly close.
Yeah, that top four is absolute death right now. Like, yeah, you can see Heavy Metal Levantine, they dropped 2 spots, but they're only 2 points back.
Yeah.
Like, they could easily make that up. And even though, so like Kinetic is 10 points down on Levantine, they got a shutout last week, or near shutout last week. Like, they're gonna have a hard time catching up.
Yeah, 10 points is not impossible to make up, especially not halfway through the season.
It's not, but that's still gonna take some time. And you never know when you face a high caliber team.
Yeah. Divisions 3 and 4, Manteens in Division 4 still leading the league overall, despite Captain Manteen's pessimism all preseason.
Yes, and thinking he wasn't even gonna make the season. Interesting cap.
I'm repping Pink Chaos there, sitting in second with the same number of points as the Division 2 leaders. So
Interestingly, the lads have popped out of the basement of Division 4.
yeah, they just needed a good week.
Yeah, they got a shutout, and they have the tiebreaker over the C4 Circus right now. Very interesting. Also worth noting, Sinister Creations at the head of Division 3. They've been in first place in Division 3 the entire season. They're the only team to not move once in the standings so far.
Well, they're only 2 points ahead of second.
Yeah,
Can they stay there?
Nobini and Vulture have been putting up a fight. Same with NYC, honestly. And also, Nightvale is no longer last in their division.
They're no longer anywhere near the last overall. They're like 23rd overall.
Yeah, like they're in like they're out of the bottom quarter, which is surprising.
Nitro wants to know if the Syndicate loses to Pelagic, if they'll be sleeping with the fishes.
I think they'll be ingested by the
I think
fishes.
sleeping is the least dangerous thing they could be doing with the fishes. Well, shall we get our feature match of the week underway?
I think we should, because I think it's going to be full of death.
It's going to be full of fishes. Before we get into it, I would like to thank our Patreon stream sponsors for supporting the Robot Rampage League and making it possible for us to keep doing this. This is a $10 a month tier over on Patreon. You can join up to support the league. All of these wonderful people are supporting with at least $10 a month or more. Thank you very much for making this possible for us to keep doing. Razor259 pointing out the new patron Alec. Yes, I had to change the graphic this week, which is part of the reason why it took a little while to get all the graphics out, because I was having to change so many things. So thank you once again to our wonderful patrons. We will be seeing more of them throughout the stream.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we have quite a few patron matchups in here. When's the first one? I'm not sure, actually. I think it might be in the second half. That's okay.
Well, we lead off with Tennessee and Syndicate taking on the Pelagic
Oh,
Wanderers.
yeah. also realized, Zester pointed out, this is a Patreon matchup right here.
Yes, Mighty Hydra versus Zester. Does that mean that the game's going to crash 3 times?
Yes, it will.
Patrons
They
love
want-
getting their names out there.
They want that shutout. They want that shutout third.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the first match of the stream. We have Whammy representing the Tennessean Syndicate. It is a sit-and-spin robot with these long weapons sticking out from it. It is facing the Pelagic Wanderers robot Carcinized with the 2 side axes made up of different weapons. Both of them have been hit or miss. Carcinized's been surprisingly good.
Honestly, Whammy's been surprisingly good. I think it's won 5 consecutive fights.
Has it now?
Yeah, like it's actually doing reasonably well right now.
Man, it's been sneaky good.
Yeah, it's one of those that, like, on paper you're like, oh, you know, if you snipe its weapon, it's just done, but it's not been happening. Yeah, it's got 4 consecutive KOs and everything.
Wow.
So,
Chat, who do we think's gonna win this one?
it's taken out some yeah, like it took out VSSV last week, so it's been impressive.
As soon as I ask who do we think is gonna win, chat goes from Carcinized to Whammy.
I think it's fair. I think it depends on how Whammy actually goes about attacking Carcinized. Because of how wide those side axes are, it's mostly going to be hitting weapons. But if it does get around the back of Carcinized, Carcinized can't turn around very easily.
No.
And Whammy only knows how to turn.
This is correct. Well, let's get the turning battle underway. Well, I'm kind of slow to get up.
Whoa, what a snipe!
Yeah, the right side axe taken straight off of Carcinized immediately with a precision shot by Whammy.
Whammy's spinning in that direction to get right into that chassis.
Yep, going directly for that exposed chassis on the right side of Carcinized. And Carcinized just doesn't have the drive pace to get in there and get Whammy stopped.
Losing its front spikes now.
This is not the way that the Pelagic Wanderers wanted this match to start.
We're already on to control board hits.
Yeah, Carcinized gotten Whammy stopped briefly, but not long enough.
37 seconds. And the Syndicate already has a W. There we go. Now, so that is now 5 consecutive knockouts for Whammy. It's actually been very surprising for them.
That was a pretty decent damage total for the lightweights.
Yeah, so like Whammy before this fight has provided 30% of the Syndicate's points this season. On a 48 points, that's actually kind of a lot.
Yeah.
Whammy's no joke.
Well, another robot that's no joke. Syndicate's middleweight, exceptionally gifted. 4-wheel drive rammer, battering ram of axe heads. Has it lost yet?
It has. I believe Kepler got there, but otherwise exceptionally has been bulldozing anything and everything in front of it.
Well, it's going to have a tough time. It's facing Breach, which is a rear-hinged flipper from the Pelagic Wanderers. And rammers are not known for their ground game.
They're not, however, exceptionally's battering ram is axe heads, which have been surprisingly good at least against chassis wedges. I don't know how that's going to work for Breach here, but
Well, on the other side of things, how is Breach going to immobilize exceptionally gifted if it's invertible?
well, I don't know if exceptionally's back wheels actually stick out far enough to move. I also just thought that singular spike strip flipper on Breach is directly in the center, which is where exceptionally's battering ram is held together.
Yep, they could snipe the
It
whole
could
ram
snipe it off. We don't know. That's how exceptionally lost in the first place.
Well, chat is back and forth. They don't know who to expect either. I think, for me personally, exceptionally gifted might have the edge because it just has the weapon power advantage. It's going to be a little more difficult for Breach to end the fight early. But this is why we run fights, to see if that's actually true. There's a difference between theory and reality. We're going to find out which comes out is the case here. Wow!
Huge toss
Breach had
already.
no problem getting under that battering ram. It's already got Exceptionally Gifted over near the wall and is risking a ring out here.
Ooh, man.
Exceptionally Gifted, basically unable to do anything about it. Although it's gotten to that
Now it's gotten to the side.
chassis of Breach and caved it in a little bit. And it is successfully fending off the wedges briefly. Breach trying to maneuver.
Yeah, right now Breach isn't able to get under those axe heads. Those flipping segments are definitely taking damage.
Yeah, it's got to be a little bit careful. Oh, one of them's come off now with that misfire. Breach has knocked itself over, and
but through self-righting, exceptionally got under the flipping arms.
Breach,
Oh,
it's
no!
taken off the whole battering ram with that spike strip.
Oh, that spike strip was able to get them all off. Oh no.
What a well-timed push from Breach, and it's gotten Exceptionally Gifted back to the grinder
And
now.
gotten a wheel off now.
Exceptionally Gifted is struggling to move now, just tumbling end over end. And Breach is going to throw it on top of the wall, and it drove back in.
Drove back in. Fantastic.
That's a bingo square for me. So Breach still trying to get that ring out and get that fight over early. It's going to try and use the grinder once again to its advantage.
Exceptionally just trying to last as long as it can and push this to a decision. Only limit them to 1 point, baby.
Well, we're only 90 seconds in. It's got a long way to go. And Breach is being very careful to make sure it's on the correct side of the grinders.
Control board hits for Exceptionally on the grinder now.
And that's going to be the knockout.
It is. Oh no.
117 left, and Breach has tied the match up with a KO.
That was very surprising. I actually need to check that for a second. Because that is the first knockout of Breach's season.
Came at a good time.
Yeah, and it used the grinder to do it. Very effective strategy.
Couldn't get it over the wall, so it just threw it into the grinder until it was dead. So, do you have your notes up yet?
I'm about to. I'm about to.
Chat's already calling for Fight of the Week.
Oh, I saw that chat. I got you.
Well, whichever one of these teams wins this match will be leading the division.
The division, yeah.
And it's still tied after two
Still
fights.
tied. Yep. Gotta say, Exceptionally and Breach, both of them have been a part of Fight of the Week contenders basically the whole season. They've been very impressive robots.
Absolutely. Nightmare saying only second fight of the stream, we already have a Fight of the Week contender.
Hey, that's how it goes sometimes.
Sometimes the first half of the stream has good fights, sometimes it's the second half.
Yeah, first half last week was odd.
Yeah, it seemed that way.
Not a whole lot went on. And then everything went on the second half.
Saved it all up for the second half. Okay, chat. We have heavyweight time. The undefeated. Relentless Heartburn for the Tennessean Syndicate with the double vertical spinners. And Pelagic Wanderer with Twin Gyre with the double angled spinners. Classified as both horizontal and vertical by our classifications. What do we think is going to happen here, chat?
Oh boy.
There's a lot that could go on here. Relentless Heartburn has been relentless.
It has, 100%.
And Twin Gyre is not the most stable.
Not
So
quite.
it could get flipped over by that vertical spinner. Or Twin Gyre's weapons, which are angled up forwards, could just rip the motors right off of Relentless Heartburn.
Not only that, but Relentless Heartburn kind of has those pontoon sides of the chassis, which are totally exposed.
Yes. Pretty much exactly where Twin Gyre's weapons are. We'll be saying the real question is, are we expecting lots of restarts? Shoosh, don't jinx the restarts. Relentless Heartburn is this season's equivalent of psychogenic harmfulness. Long name, sneaky good.
Yeah. Although, I mean, since it's undefeated, it's a little bit more in the public this time. But
can the undefeated streak continue? It's going to be a tall order here against Twin Gyre. trying not to go straight down the middle, but Twin Gyre's gotten those weapons into play and is going after those extenders.
Twin Gyre's chassis is the perfect geometry for not getting hit by Relentless
One
Heartburn's
disc
weapon.
off. Trying to get that second disc now.
Although that broken off disc has kind of jammed Twin Gyre up.
Oh no, Twin Gyre is unable to drive well with that disc in the way. It's finally gotten it free. It's pushed Relentless Heartburn into the grinder, caving in the front of the chassis and the rear of the chassis at the same time, and Relentless Heartburn surprisingly doesn't have the drive power to fight back.
Doesn't quite. It's gotten free now, but the remaining motor is smoking.
Yeah, Twin Gyre is not taking any chassis damage. It's gotten the last of the weapon off.
It's got control board hits now.
Wow, Twin Gyre is just picking Relentless Heartburn apart here. Although that disc is jamming those weapons up once again.
Fortunately, Relentless Heartburn does not have the weaponry to really keep up anymore.
Yeah. It's got the wedges, though.
Ooh, but Twin Gyre just spun around with its disc and was able to get a control board hit.
So,
Well,
Pelagic end the streak and pull ahead.
that is a 6-3 for Pelagic. They can no longer lose. But as this is the match of KOs, could be another coming up in the Super Heavies, who knows?
Well, can the Syndicate tie it up with a KO?
Remotely possible, but it's going to be a bit of a tall order, I think.
I think this is going to be very difficult to tie up. Another unbeaten bot falls, says Nightmare. Yes.
We've been losing a couple every week now.
Steadily whittling through the undefeated robots.
I think we're down to only 4 remaining, and I think it's one in each weight class, too.
Let's find out. I know Voya's keeping
Voya
up with
just
this.
threw it in the Discord this morning.
Yep, we're down to 1 in each weight class. Metallica, RRL, Transfusion, and Dysfunctional Stepsister.
All of them are coming up later.
They're all in Divisions 3 and 4.
They are.
No remaining undefeated robots in Divisions 1 and 2.
Honestly, given how much of a death division 1 and 2 are, that's
Yeah,
not surprising.
You're not wrong. So, One Father for the Tennessean Syndicate needs to get some knockouts here. Double horizontal spinner, similar to Rotator from BattleBots. It's facing Sharp-Snout and Bluntnose, the multi-bot sharks from the Pelagic Wanderers. They both have overhead axes. One's Warpick style axe, the other is kind of a club style axe. The sharks have been really good at using their feeding frenzy strategy.
Yeah.
And One Father's not particularly fast.
Yeah, and especially even if they lose their axes, something like especially Sharp-Snout in particular is very aggressive as a rammer.
Yes.
So
That being said, One Father's got a lot of armor around it.
has a lot of armor around it, but not on top necessarily.
This is true.
I would not be surprised if the sharks can just go straight over that and clip the extenders off of them. However, there's also an upper spinner on One Father to take off their axes.
Yep. Saying that One Father needs a knockout is kind of only half of the thing here, because it doesn't need to knock out one, it needs to knock out both of the multibots to get the 3 points.
And One Father has not been particularly good this season. It's only gotten 1 win so far, so
Well, if there's ever a time for it to step up,
it's now.
the middle of the season is the best time to do it. Chat is on the side of the Sharks.
Shame we don't have Jack and Sledge here right now.
Yeah, I'm on the side of the Sharks too. Let's see how it goes. Will the feeding frenzy strategy work? Well, they both swarmed One Father, and they're going for that right side
Ooh,
wheel.
they managed to get through the armor and get a wheel already.
Wow, so the Sharks are piling on the damage, and they're refusing to let up here. One Father can't even get away to break a TKO
I'm
count.
gonna try to.
Although Sharpsnout's got kind of snagged on it.
Has kind of gotten free.
Sharks kind of attacking each other. One
Almost.
Father's getting that lower disc into play.
Bluntnose was absolutely going ape on the top of One Father, but now they're both kind of stuck against the armor again.
Yes. One Father just does not have the drive power to get free from these two.
They don't. It's
and
on
get the
control
weapons
board.
into play.
One Father's on control board hits as well.
Yep, and that
there's
is
the
going to be the knockout.
47 seconds for the Sharks.
And with that, the Pelagic Wanderers take the lead.
That was a 9-3 win, so 10 after the bonus point. That is a...
Oh no, I gotta do math. Big win for the Atlantic Ocean team. Say hello to the fishies, Syndicate. They're going to be eaten by the fishies.
They're both swimming and being eaten by them. Terrifying combination.
Can sharks digest cement shoes? Tiger sharks probably can. They'll eat anything.
Honestly, yeah. I mean, they don't have to digest it in order to just chew on it. So, yeah.
That's true. Well, our next match is coming up here between second place robotics and the kinetic creatures.
The creatures.
Say hello to the sharks' little friends. Okay. Second place robotics from Zionsville, Indiana, just outside of Indianapolis, brings Unknown X to the lightweights. It is kind of a claw overhead axe crusher type of robot. Got a nice sleek wedgy chassis. The kinetic creatures bring Network, which is a double saw blade spinner. The saw blades are better wedges than wedges are.
Yeah, don't understand that, but it works.
Where's Kinetic from?
Kinetic is out of Cleveland.
This is a Midwest matchup.
Yeah, this is a very close geographic. Not the greatest for removing components and getting control board hits.
Correct.
Unknown X has a ton of chassis to get all that grinding damage on, but if Network goes up that wedge at all, it's going to get crushed.
Yeah.
Although Unknown X has not kept its axe crusher very often, so...
Well, chat seems to think Unknown X has the advantage here. Probably expecting it to snipe those motors right off a Network.
That would make sense, but I don't know if Unknown X's crusher quite has the reach to do so.
Well, let's find out. Here we go. Network with the faster pace.
Oh, what is that? Wow.
Been the better wedge and knocked Unknown X over. It's bounced back upright and on top of Network.
That was very odd. They met up in the middle and Unknown X just pole vaulted straight over the saw blades. Huh.
Yeah, we've seen some odd collisions with the floor and such here. Unknown X rights itself beautifully, but cannot get under the saw blades, which are a better wedge than a wedge.
Huh. I'm pretty sure Unknown X has a burst wedge as well, so that's surprising.
Yeah, and Network is carving that chassis up since Unknown X just unable to get around it, but it has now.
The Network is able to reset.
Not with the drive pace to take advantage of it. So, Network is just going to continue just steadily grinding away here.
Yeah, you can see the damage piling up on Unknown X, getting absolutely caved in the front.
Yep, but like you said, it's not causing control board hits.
No,
it's not going to take components off. So, Network racking up damage points to pad its lead in the middle or in the lightweight.
I suppose.
But other than winning most damaging robot, it's not going to do a whole lot here, is it?
Yeah, good for stat padding, not for winning matches, unfortunately.
Well, it's been the aggressor here so far. Although it's kind of worked them both into the corner near the grinder.
Network was able to kind of get away.
Unknown X had a shot at Network, but didn't take advantage. Gone right back to Unknown X failing to get underneath the saw blades of Network. You're talking about Unknown X not having the reach in this particular circumstance where it cannot get under that, I don't think it has the reach.
No, I don't think it does. And even if it lined up like perfectly with Network, it would go right in between the motors and not get anything, I don't think.
Yeah, so Network playing to its strengths here and keeping UnknownX at bay and just piling up the damage. And UnknownX is struggling to drive here. There's smoke coming out of the drive motors now. It's taken so much damage, it doesn't have the drive power to fight back anymore. Although
now it's gotten underneath.
It's finally gotten under Network, and Network backed right off.
And as I said, the Crusher went right in between the saw blades and did no damage, I don't think.
Yep.
Wow.
And that lack of drive power because of all that damage meant that they couldn't take advantage when Network backed away. So there's 25 seconds left, and Network has absolutely carved up UnknownX, but been unable to put it away.
The wedge has come off of UnknownX now. I'm not entirely sure that's going to matter here.
It's jumped up on top of Network, but time is going to expire before anything comes of it. So that is a judge's decision.
Worth noting the judging criteria for the Robot Rampage League. Damage, control, strategy, aggression, all 6 points, and a singular spectacle point for whoever the judges feel put on the best show in the fight.
Yeah, crucially, damage is only worth 25% of the total, and that was the main thing that Network had there.
Yeah.
So it's not necessarily a clean sweep here for Network.
We'll see how the judges score that later in the week.
Yes, our judges have busy lives and they cannot be here for the entire stream and every fight, so we will get with them during the week and they will watch the fights back and we will see what the scores will be. Meanwhile, we move on to the middleweights. Instead of Creighton doesn't get thrown over the wall while it's trying to self-right.
Yes.
How's the stream doing?
It's buffering again. So.
Oh no.
Because I know our connection's fine.
Yeah, we have really strong internet connection here. Neat. Alright, well, let's get the fight started. And
Pretty minor one left with people.
So, you know, weather plays a role too sometimes. Alright, fight time. Aegis versus Siege. Who you got, Steve?
Probably Aegis because
Siege
fell over instead. That's interesting.
Face planted into the top of Aegis and did a lot of damage in the process, but Aegis is getting hits to that weapon motor as it's trying to self-right.
Siege has gotten a couple of hits by spinning downwards while getting flipped around. However, its weapon motor is definitely smoking now.
Yeah, and it's not exhibiting a whole lot of controlled movement here.
And
There goes the entire weapon off of Siege at once. It's managed to get upright and then back upside down again.
Siege just flailing around at this point.
Yeah, once again, Siege using the strategy of just throwing its wheels at the floor and hoping to get traction to right itself.
Fortunately, it's been put over to the grinder instead. Kind of gotten away now, but...
Aegis, meanwhile, just burying those flipping arms into Siege's armor and caving it in. Although Siege has managed to get back down onto the floor, and Aegis is going to
slide right under.
Try and wedge under it again. Or push it into the grinder.
Ooh,
Aegis drove its own wheel into the grinder.
Control board hits now for Siege, too. Just cannot compete with that ground.
Oh, the last of the wheels comes off. But
And
Aegis
there's
goes
the
for the knockout. Got 3 points back.
There we go.
So that takes the lead in the match. Aegis is leading this match. On the front just aren't low enough to the floor to combat the ground game.
Well, it's mostly there for defense, and can't really defend stuff when it hits you from underneath.
True.
Oh, more multi-bot chaos.
More multi-bot madness. Stop scrolling.
Let's go farther.
Turn down the sensitivity on my mouse. It'll help.
Really, because I had no problem with it.
Shoosh. I'm old. Leave me alone. Alright.
Might be a bit of a tall order.
Yeah, second place robotics has Rumblebee in the creatures have Dunning and Kruger, which are twin overhead bar spinners.
Very glass cannon. So.
Chats on Dunning and Kruger's side. What do you think?
I'm not sure if they're going to be able to get through Rumblebee's armor, actually. Because Rumblebee does have pretty sufficient armor, and I think it's high enough to block the spinners.
Well, let's find out. If Dunning and Kruger have the weapon power to get the chassis, and physics got upset. So we restart. Because that's not fair for physics to throw stuff around on for no reason like that. But now it's vulnerable to being attacked from behind by Dunning.
It looks like Dunning's able to get over the wheel guard and actually catch Rumblebee's wheel.
Yeah, but it's not doing a good job getting the weapon up to speed here. As Rumblebee continues to try to... Oh, it broke the entire weapon of Kruger apart. So it is... What Rumblebee's doing is they're trying to single out one robot at a time, which is the preferred strategy against most multibots, but it is taking a lot of damage from Dunning in the process. But Dunning has been able to just attack Rumblebee with impunity during this time, and now Rumblebee is on control board hits. Right back. It's not a fast robot as it is, and now it's down to just one wheel.
Also got to break a count here. I don't know if it'll be able to.
I think it has. Dunning's got that weapon back up to speed, but it's unable to get close enough to hit the chassis now that Rumblebee's facing it.
Yeah, no, Dunning doesn't quite have the drive power to sneak under there either.
No, the smaller robot just unable to... Well, it's pushing Rumblebee back, at the very least.
Working Rumblebee over to a grinder, that could be beneficial.
Rumblebee is now against the grinder. How much damage is being done? Not a lot by the sounds of things. Good move, and Multibot successfully... I need to do math again.
But, as chat's pointing out, YouTube is being very unhelpful right now.
Alright, let me see what is going on.
Yeah, check
my
the stream
end.
quality if you can. Because I've been seeing them saying stuff about it, like cutting out and everything, and like for me it goes from like 5 seconds left in the fight to where we are now. So
yeah,
obviously it's not going to look like that once the stream is done, but yeah, I'm thinking this is more on YouTube side.
this has got to be on YouTube side because
Everything on our end is fine.
YouTube, why are you so crap? That is unfortunate. I'm not sure what we can even do about that.
Yeah, I know Voya's pointed out, do we have a time for it? I can't. I know Cora just pointed out there's 76 reports in the last 20 minutes, so there's definitely seems to be a YouTube issue right now.
Oh.
That sucks that it's YouTube and not us.
Yeah.
What do we do if it's YouTube?
The stream is still going to be archived and saved in full when we're streaming, I'm pretty sure.
Well, only what YouTube is getting from us. Yeah.
That is actually a problem, because I would think if we still power through it and go, it'll save all of it anyway, but I don't actually know.
Q&A. I mean, we could do a Q&A, I guess.
I suppose.
Definitely affecting the viewer experience. Yeah, I mean, like, I'm not sure what we can do to address that at the moment. Well, at the moment, we can't save the fights with the archived stream.
No, I don't think we can, no.
So, what do we even do? You know, let me look up and see if this is a YouTube issue.
That's my thought. I mean, you can check like down detector or something. I'm pretty sure that's part of it.
Yeah.
Actually, no, since
Here's what I propose.
hmm.
We'll stop the stream, restart all of our equipment, and then start streaming again. Yeah, because my YouTube thing is just showing it back and forth between having a connection and not. And, like, that's nothing that we're doing. Alright. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to stop the stream. We're going to restart it all. Sorry about the streaming problems, people. It's not our fault. You post what you're doing in chat. Yes, I can. We're going to restart all our equipment and hope it helps. Thank you for being here for whatever this was. I appreciate it. We will be right back after whatever this nonsense is.